So I got this 1440p 144Hz gaming monitor for just €100 and this other monitor for just €30. In this video I'll show you how to get these deals for yourself too. The method I use isn't anything new, but there are a lot of things to be careful of when going down this route, and that route is buying used monitors. So here's a guide to make sure you don't get scammed. The easiest check you can make is to see if the monitor has a HDMI port. If it doesn't, then it is definitely too old. Other than that though, you want to make sure it has the right specs that would work well with your PC. All monitors have a sticker on them with the model. If you search up the model specs, then you will get all the details you need about the display. If the seller hasn't listed the model in the ad, you can just ask them for it or get them to send a picture of the sticker on the back. Sometimes the spec websites can be a bit inaccurate, so just make sure to watch a couple YouTube videos to confirm everything. To find out what specific monitor specs would work well with your PC, you can watch benchmarking videos on YouTube for your specific graphics card. Besides that, you should aim for at least a 1080p 60Hz monitor. Also, it is nice to get a monitor with a good stand, or at least with VESA compatibility. Larger monitors can have especially wide stands that take up a good bit of space, so just take that into account. So when dealing with the seller online, make sure that the monitor is working and comes with a power cable. If it doesn't though, most monitors do use a standard power connector, so it's not that big of a deal. I have gotten a really short power cable before, so if that's something that could bother you, make sure you ask the seller about the length of the power cable. Getting a display cable though is 50-50. If you do get one though, usually it's HDMI, but sometimes it can be VGA or something else, so just make a note of that. The most important thing though is to haggle right to get the best deal. I would say to have your initial offer between 50 and 80% of the asking price, and then to see where the seller settles at. Obviously, if it's already a pretty good deal, I wouldn't push it too much. If you are offering less than 60%, then you might just end up getting ghosted. That's why you should always put your offer after a couple of genuine questions to show your interest. The best discount I've ever gotten is 30%, but honestly, the best strategy is to just wait for someone selling a monitor really cheap and being the first one to pay asking price for it. When picking up the monitor, follow their standard safety advice. Meet in a well-lit public place. I have gotten some people drop it off to my house or near my house, but I did pay full price for both of those monitors and I was pretty quick to react. You should also bring your own computer unless you've told the seller to bring their own beforehand. This is really important if you actually want to test a monitor, but I don't usually test the monitors because I've never been scammed and it is a bit of a hassle. If you are worried about it though, you can get the seller to send you a video of it working beforehand to make sure that everything is fine. If it is a really good deal though and the market is fast, then the seller might just choose to sell to a less fussier buyer, so be wise in how much you go back and forth with the seller, and note that there will always be some element of risk when buying used electronics. And now once you've gotten the monitor, do a quick visual inspection, verifying the ports and the model on the back. Once you've set it up, make sure that the menu buttons are working, and then I usually do a factory reset to get a clean slate. In Windows, I do go into the display settings and check the monitor's refresh rate and resolution to make sure that they're right. If you do have a second monitor, make sure you set it to extend these displays. After that, it's best to max out the settings and test the monitor for some time. Most of the time, unless a monitor has some noticeable damage on the screen itself, you shouldn't have any problems with it. You might have to give the monitor a quick wipe down once you've gotten it. Make sure not to use any alcohol to clean the screen, and the reason is this could damage the anti-glare coating on it. Just use a damp cloth. Obviously make sure there's not too much water in it that it starts to seep into the cracks of the screen. That's really all there is to it, and if you found this guide helpful and want to get more tips on getting the best deals, make sure to subscribe.